Good morning, this is Vicki.
And this is Jo.
And we're the two natural ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show. And welcome to everyone listening this morning from Victoria, Australia and beyond. And thank you for joining us. And Vicki, happy Dolphin Day.
Yes.
It was 6 days ago, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yes. Well, we've been talking about dolphins a lot lately.
We have. And I was saying to my grandson on the beach on Saturday, I said, now, you're very good at creating things. Just create the dolphins out there right now. It didn't work anyway.
Oh, they were hiding.
Yes. Or I think they'd already gone, because we were in Dramana, I think they'd already gone to closer to where you live and I live.
Ah, yes.
So I think that's what they do. They do the venture towards the city.
Do you think they have, they do that every day, the same,
I thought so.
circuit?
I could be wrong.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I have known to be wrong.
Occasionally. Rarely.
I know. The Earth shifts on its axis when it happens.
Yes.
On a completely different note,
Yes.
I did want to have a chat about this gorgeous show that I'm watching, because another thing we've talked about is people ageing and what happens, and particularly in our Western society, how we segregate, and older people can get extremely lonely, whether they're in residential care or they're in their own home. And this beautiful program called Old People's Homes for 4-year-olds. And the first season was where the 4-year-olds went into residential care places and visited certain elderly people. This is the opposite. The elderly people who live at home on their own are going into kinder.
And sitting on those little chairs.
No, they're being kind to them. But they do a number of tests with them, first on them, both their mobility and also their mental health state. And I think there was about 14 people in the group, and over half of them had depression when it first started. I don't know what the end result is yet because it hasn't finished. And there were a couple of people who were quite reticent to be involved in it, one person in particular. I've watched week 1 and week 2, the difference in the people, the elderly, but the kids too. See, this is the thing. This is not just about, let's help the elderly. This is about intergenerational support, help. Some of the kids have never really dealt with older people or been around older people and what they're learning. And it's been structured so that the elderly are, they're pushed with their memory and their physical abilities, and so they're using certain things, but they're having fun, and I've cried each time I've watched it. It's so beautiful, and the whole idea, which is even more exciting than this, because this is 12 kids and 12 adults, is if this works, which it has, they're looking at doing it, Australia-wide. I mean, it should be worldwide. I just love it.
So this is an Australian thing?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think it's in Sydney. Yeah, so it's called Old People's Homes for 4-year-olds. And I just love the whole concept because, of course, my husband watches it and he goes, well, that's what happens in our village all the time, because the middle group of in our age are out working. So it's the elderly who are looking after the young.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that there's a program and that they're discovering or rediscovering this, but it would be really lovely for it to be a normal village life thing that we get back to.
Yeah.
Because we segregate from an early age. I mean, the kids are in prep and grade 1 and grade 2, and often when my kids are in school, I'm thinking that's not normal. You don't throw a whole heap of kids into the same age group.
That's right.
In villages, people interact with all ages.
Yeah.
So, I'd love for that too. And my kids were in a school for a while where they were all in one group of different ages. And, I'd like to see that come back.
Yes, yes. And certainly, I mean, my kids were in Montessori, which was 3 age groups in one, and they very much, and I'm sure it was probably the same with where your kids went, where it was very much about the older kids helping the younger. So learning that leadership and support, and the kids, and that's the thing. You know, we're all learning from all different age groups, and you could see, again, back to this program, the elderly getting younger every day, you know, with playing and dressing up and just they had concerts and just things that they just wouldn't be doing at all, and loving it. And the kids and the connections that were made, because young ones are so quick at connecting. Yeah. And very quickly the young ones were making connections with particular elderly people. It was it's divine, and yes, as you said, it normalizes. Let's normalize this.
Yes, perfect.
So there you go.
Well, and I think, I mean, as you know, I've been getting out and playing sandcastles with my kids who are adults. I think even village life would impact that, because I think as a parent, I felt very, I had to be responsible all the time. And if there was more of a village around, then, everyone's more supported.
Exactly. Yes, that's right. And it's very isolating. I remember when my first son was born, it felt extremely isolating, and I couldn't connect with anyone. I mean, they tried to put me into a mothers group, but the mothers were actually, because I was quite a young mum, and they were, sort of
old.
Well, they were 6 years older or something.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and different ideas and thoughts, and I just didn't connect with them.
Yes.
So, it wasn't until I started going to the gym and, working out, no. I actually started swimming and putting my son into creche, and then I did go into like an aerobics class, and I met some ladies through that, and that's how I connected. Because you can't just connect with anyone. But yes, it is. It does. It makes sense. We've got to somehow create village life.
Yes, let's do that. And all the other things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, again, you know where we have to go. Straight to the top. Oh, dear. I've actually got Adrian. Hello, Adrian, from Scarborough in the UK. And he said, we have had oldies and kids doing that here. Some homes let them go to infant schools and vice versa. Not nationally, but a lot of schools do this. So that's cool.
That is cool. Yeah. Well, it's something I did actually suggest many years ago to our little community school, that we should go and visit a old people's home. But at the time, it didn't. They felt that there was too many logistical issues around that. So, and that's the thing. I think if it's unusual, then it's hard to implement.
Yes.
But if it's normal,
that's right.
Then it's normal.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
and that's right. All the hoops you may have to go through if you try and explain the benefit of this, and rather than it's their time for this or whatever.
Time for their cup of tea.
Yes, exactly.
I remember. Yes, when my grandparents got older, it was 4 o'clock was, I don't know what time it was, but very regimented, their timing.
Yes, I know that well.
Yes. And then it's like, well, and part of it is, do you respect that? And the other part of it is, look, come on, guys, live a little,
I know. My grandkids find it quite frustrating, because my mum says, because she does most of the talking, she'll say to them, We'd love you to come over, but we're available between 10:15 and 11:15 on this date.
Yes.
Don't come before or after, kind of thing. So it's like, well, I'm sorry, we can't come at that time. No. So it's like, Mum, you've got to give a bit here if you want to actually see your grandkids, which they do. They work it out.
Yeah.
But yes, there's a lot. But my parents have always been like that.
Right.
They've been always very on time people.
Yes. Even when they partied.
Like
it's 1999.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had to have all the guests arrive at a certain time? Or?
No, well, actually, when they did, I mean, here's something that I loved and I wanted to do but never did, because I didn't marry a party person, as in he wasn't big on parties. They, for 2 months, and they did it for 2 or 3 years in a row, so all of June and July, they just invited everyone they knew, and they knew, say 150, 200 people, and they just said, come any Saturday night.
Yep.
And it was, say, between 7 and 12. So it wasn't, an all-nighter. BYO alcohol, and I think Mum and Dad had wine and some wine and some cheese or something, so it was just, and just come. And they had a book, which I'm sure they've still got somewhere, and sometimes they'd have 25 people, and they wouldn't know who's coming. So you didn't have to tell, just come. Other times they'd have 150 people.
Wow.
It was just, yes, they were able to just...
Be flexible.
Be flexible, yes, yes.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.